So Donald Trump is president-elect. How crazy is that? Honestly, I was so shocked yesterday watching the results. I was glued to my television from about 11 in the morning till about 11 at night. And like a huge proportion of the world, especially outside America, shock and awe is probably an appropriate phrase for how they feel today about the election result. But guys, I thought we'd have a quick chat about how we got to this point. Not that we're going to reflect on everything that happened, but the media got it. When I say the media, the polls got it so wrong, and there was a lot of talk today about how can these pollsters be seen in public again. They got it so wrong, and how we got to that point of the election yesterday, really.
Well, there is talk of this phenomenon of the leaner. That is someone who's rung up, put on the spot, who are you voting for, Hillary or Trump? Embarrassed, they say Hillary, but quietly in conversation they'll lean in and say, secretly, I'm probably going Trump. And I think that's what the polls didn't reflect, is the anger of the American people and the fear that they feel at the moment.
What are they angry and fearful about again? I've never quite worked that out yet.
Well, Trump keeps telling them what they're angry and fearful about. And then they kind of go, oh, okay, I'm angry and fearful of Muslims and Mexicans and trade and other people on the other side of the world and deals made 20 years ago, and then they respond.
But I think unemployment there is 4 point something. It's not really high, so they're not, you know, completely out of jobs and everything, but there's something else that's bothering them, isn't there?
Well, that's the incredible thing, is that Trump really managed to capture middle America across the board. There was talk of a huge turnout amongst the Hispanic population yesterday, and Trump captured almost a third of that vote, which is well up over what Mitt Romney was able to get in 2012. Hillary did not resonate with the populations that they thought she would.
And that's the other thing. There was a sector of commentary before the election, and I'm thinking about less mainstream. I'm thinking about groups like even people like Michael Moore, or groups like the Young Turks, or InfoWars, those kind of fringe media outlets who are all saying the media's got this wrong. They're part of the establishment, so they can't see beyond the establishment, and and a lot of those people, like if you look at the media predictions, hugely wrong. If you go to those groups that are on outside mainstream media, much better chance that they were close to what the result was. At least we're saying it was a possibility.
Well, there were polls back in July that suggested that if Bernie Sanders didn't become the nominee for the Democratic Party, it was going to be a tough battle for them. And I think that's where the Democrats got it wrong. They sowed the seeds of this back in July when they chose Hillary. To make it worse, she hasn't actually been back to a lot of the states that she lost overnight since then. She's chased Trump through Michigan in recent weeks, but she hasn't been to Wisconsin, which has been a safe Democratic seat for years. Now it's in Trump's hands. Yeah,
and that was the other thing. He flipped about four or five states.
Six,
and she didn't flip any. So we have a President Trump-elect, and it's going to be a really interesting next couple of weeks because, he gets to get the keys from the White House from Barack Obama. There is a commentary out there a few years ago at the White House Correspondents' Dinner when Seth Meyer took apart, you look it up on Google, on YouTube, took apart Donald Trump in that setting where he was sitting, that was the moment he decided to run, and because his pride was hurt so badly and he was so embarrassed that he wanted everything he could to be able to take the keys off Obama. And contrary to much of the opinion out there, he's done it. So all that can be said is, 4 years of Trump that begins in January and starts in the next 48 hours with a meeting with President Barack Obama. We'll see how it goes.